Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred We See Died Laughing, and I'm here with my 3rd December weekly wrap up. I think it's week 3, but I'm not totally sure. So I had a pretty good reading week this week. I read 3 books and I just finished a novella as well today, so I'm pretty happy with that. The first book I read this week was a little collection of short stories. It was Let It Snow, which was written by John Green, Maureen and Lauren Myracle. I kind of bought this on a whim on Amazon because I was kind of looking for a Christmassy read, and I've read a lot about Let It Snow and also the My True Love Gave to Me collection of short stories, so I decided to go for Let It Snow. It was a little bit cheaper on Amazon Kindle, and I'm really glad I picked it up. It was a nice little way to kind of get Christmas rolling for me, I think. This is 3 short stories. There is the Jubilee Express, which is written by Maureen, the Cheer-tastic Christmas Miracle, which was written by John Green, and The Patron Saint of Pigs, which was written by Lauren Myracle. And John Green is the only author that I've read actual books from this collection of authors. But the story I actually liked the most was the first one, which was the Jubilee Express. And all of these stories are set around this one town, different people in this one town, on a night where there's a it's Christmas Eve and a snowstorm is coming in. And for the first one, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just really cute. I quite liked the characters. It took me a while to warm up to the characters. She wasn't my favourite character I've ever read about, but I liked the story. I liked the other characters in that story. The second story, which was John Green's story, it was just so John Green, from the kind of nerdy male protagonist to his group of friends who are all kind of weird and wonderful, with like weird and wonderful names, and they had a weird and wonderful adventure, which is so John Green, but I enjoyed it. And then the third one by Lauren Myracle, which was The Patron Saint of Pigs. I did enjoy it. The character was very annoying. She was a little bit self-centered, which is what she's supposed to be, but I really enjoyed her friendships in that story. Even though it was such a short story, I felt like the friendships she had with her friends were quite strong. They were kind of there for her. They kind of called her out when she was being a bit of a brat, which is nice. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I kind of liked there was kind of a Love Actually feel about it, where all the characters kind of came together at the end, just on a whim. They all kind of just ended up in the same place, so we could kind of see people from the start, from the first story, how they were, like maybe a day after, and then again with the second story where they were the day after their story, and things like that. And I really thought that was really fun, and I think this book would make a really cute Christmas movie, like in kind of the style of Love Actually and maybe Valentine's Day. I think it would make a super cute movie, and I really wish that it was a movie. But I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think I might drop it down to 4.5 or 4.75. But I gave it a 5 stars on Goodreads. The next book I read is The Casket Girls by Alys Arden. This is a book that has showed up a little bit recently on BookTube, as a lot of people have started to get it for reviews, and I got this from NetGalley. A big thank you to them for giving it to me, and I really enjoyed it. This is a story about a girl called Adele, and she is coming back to New Orleans a couple of months after the storm that basically destroyed the whole city, and her and her father don't know what to expect when they get to New Orleans. They don't know what kind of community they're coming back to, if any of their friends are going to be back, whether their house is going to be standing, whether their businesses are going to be standing. They know nothing. So there's a real sense of trepidation in this book that I really liked, especially at the start of it. And as the whole story is that Adele starts to develop magic powers, and there's kind of a secret kind of history that she has with that is connected with her ancestors, and a curse that she suddenly seems that she needs to break. So there's vampires in this book, there's witches, there's shapeshifters. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. I really love the sense of place in this book. It was just so atmospheric. It was New Orleans. It was a destroyed New Orleans, but there was still a huge sense of the place, even though there was only a few people, and the few people that were in it were so vibrant, and all the characters were very vibrant, and Adele's relationship with them was really lovely, because she had a lovely close relationship to all these people because she'd grown up in this town in the French Quarter. And I couldn't help but think, while I was reading this book, I would sometimes think the scenes we've seen from New Orleans and the French Quarter on the show The Originals, and I just thought it was really really nice. I really liked the history. She kind of, when it goes back, when you kind of find out a little bit more about her ancestor and what her connection to Adele's story today is. I really liked those kind of flashbacks. And you know, the kind of supernatural aspect of it as well was really, really good. I really liked the vampires in the book. I thought they were kind of really, you know, they weren't cute and cuddly vampires. They were kind of, even if they were, there was an edge to them that I just really enjoyed. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because I was kind of left with a few questions, and it kind of niggled at me. And I would love to know. I just kind of felt like I was just still grasping for some information by the time it was over. And there is a second book in the series. This is going to be a series, and the second book I think is going to be out at some point next year. I'm definitely going to get it. I'm definitely going to read it because I really enjoyed this one, and I really enjoyed the characters and, you know, the magical characters in this, and I feel like there's so much more that they have to give, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the author does with that. And I suggested in my review that I wrote about a novella idea, and the author got back to me and said she really loved the idea of a novella, so maybe we will get a novella from one of the characters' points of views as well, one of the other characters, and I think that would be absolutely awesome, so I really hope that happens too. But yeah, a 4.5 stars, and I would definitely recommend people to pick this up because it was just a really exciting atmospheric read. The next book that I read, and I basically read for the bigger portion of Saturday night, was Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken, and this is the second book of the Darkest Minds trilogy, and I had such problems getting this book. I definitely had it at some point, and I don't know what I did. I must have deleted it or something, but I didn't have it anymore. I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't get it on Amazon because they don't do, for some reason, Amazon UK don't have this book on Kindle, and I did inquire about it online on Twitter. I was asking just because it was really frustrating because I really wanted to read this book and I just couldn't find it anywhere. And the Amazon and then Alexandra Bracken actually got back to me, and she was saying that because she doesn't have UK publishers for some reason, that she can't, there's no Kindle version on Amazon UK. So that was really disappointing, but I eventually found a version I could read. And I also downloaded an Audible copy. I got an account in Audible for literally just for this book because I don't use audiobooks. So I listened to a few chapters. I wasn't crazy about the narrator of it. I think it was just because she was so American, and her American accent was just so pronounced for me, obviously because I'm not American, so it was just very pronounced for me, and it kind of put me off a little bit reading it. And she kind of read a bit slow, and I can read it much faster rather than, you know, listening to it. So I ended up reading the bigger portion of this book online, and I really, really liked it. I really loved the character development of Ruby. I really missed some characters that were in The Darkest Minds aren't in Never Fade because of certain situations. They're just not in the same place as Ruby is in Never Fade, and I really missed that kind of camaraderie and, you know, the Scooby gang that I grew to love in The Darkest Minds. And there were new characters in Never Fade who I grew to love. But they just weren't quite the same. You know, I kind of would have liked the other characters come back, and then we would have an even bigger Scooby gang. So I'm really looking forward to reading the third one and see if a character that I've missed, or that I really, really missed in Never Fade, comes back in the next book, which is the last book called In the Afterlight, which I hope to read soon as well. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed this book. Love the character development, love the relationships. Another heartbreaking scene that just ripped my heart out near the end. People who know will know what that is, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really love this book. It's a really, really strong dystopian read, and I'm just looking forward to seeing where it goes and seeing kind of things I think are going to come up and going to be explained more in the last book. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if I'm right about that, and seeing if like, you know, just to see a bigger part of the world, I guess, and more of the kids with the superpowers. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. The last book I read this week was a novella, so it was really, really short. It didn't take me very long to read at all, and it was Christmas with Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher. This is a novella related to Billy and Me, written by Giovanna Fletcher. It's just kind of a Christmassy story about the same characters from Billy and Me, and it's about the main girl getting a mysterious email about a proposal, and she has to help the proposal happen in her little tea shop. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and yeah, it was nice for a read. It was a nice kind of Christmassy read. It had a little bit of atmosphere in it, kind of Christmas magic, but like it wasn't spectacular, and it was a little bit cheesy and a little bit like, I don't know, I could kind of guess what happened. When I realised that it was going to be one thing, I immediately guessed another, and that was right. So yeah, so I wasn't really like blown away by it, but it was nice just for the Christmassy read. And yeah, so if anyone liked Billy and Me, I would suggest go and read Christmas with Billy and Me, because why not? So that is all I read this week. I feel like I've just been rambling. I don't know, but yeah, so I will see you guys again next time, and thanks for watching. Bye!